Simply, everything needs water to live, let alone thrive. Water is both substrate, directly sprayed into the setup, part of humidity, and within the bowls, and part of some foodstuffs. However, as keepers, to care for our invertebrates, and any other creature, which is a non-exhaustive list, we should at least be using the correct source of water, and within that, doing our best not to introduce any harmful chemicals or compounds to our invertebrate setup. This presentation hopes to identify, analyse and evaluate, in our opinion, the best sources for keepers to use. We make the assumption that any process we discuss can be done within a domestic situation and try and cost out each process to make it most cost effective. Hope you enjoy. We look at the list of all the water sources available to us to use in a setup, and then we'll look at each individually. These were tap water, collected rainwater, bottled water, distilled water, from natural streams or rivers, and within foodstuffs. We'll first look at tap water. It's firstly readily available from the tap, and it's cheaper than most other sources. However, it can contain chlorine or chloramine. This will depend very much on your location worldwide, but specifically based in the UK, as we are, these make the water safe for the humans to drink by killing bacteria present, but can be harmful to invertebrates. We recommend the water should be tested with widely available test strips, and we do have a video based on this. Now we look at the availability of collected rainwater. It's relatively cheap to set up with a water butt or similar to collect the fallen rainwater. It's certainly not an issue in the UK, and obviously there's no chlorination or any processing because it falls straight from the sky. However, worldwide, some countries have much less rainwater, so that might be an issue. You also do need to set it up with a water butt from your gutter, so there is a cost factor involved more so than just the tap water. And in some areas, pollution might get into the rain, especially near large cities, so we wouldn't want that to get into our invertebrate setups. Next we look at bottled water, of which there's three main types. There's purified, which is, it could be processed through osmosis or it could even be distilled. There's filtered, which is basically tap water which goes through some sort of filtering process. There's also spring water, which is collected from an underground source, and it might not be additionally filtered, and it's widely available in most shops. However, it's a very expensive source compared to others, and the water quality is unknown, so you may need to test it before you know what's in it. Next we'll look at distilled water. Some bottled water is included in this as it's been distilled as part of the processing. However, distilled water is available in much larger quantities because it can be used within labs and things, so you can get it in far larger drums than just drinking water. If it's distilled, it would remove any bacteria or chlorine. However, it would also remove any minerals that are present in the distilled water, so it needs to be remineralised depending on your intended creature, and it's still much more expensive than tap water. There is also the option from natural water from streams or rivers, and to abstract water from streams, rivers or canals might be a local option to you. However, within the UK you will need to apply for a licence to abstract water from such sources, and similar to rain, it may contain pollution and compounds you wouldn't want to give to your creatures. There will also be an element of water within most foodstuffs which invertebrates will be eating anyway, especially the plant eaters and green leafy vegetables. However, there's not enough water in most cases to keep the invertebrates alive as a source alone. This of course depending on what it is and where it originated from. Now we've outlined all the sources of water and their pros and cons, we'll now look at remedial actions to make our water safer for use within our invertebrate setups. Looking specifically at water containing chlorine and or chloramine, where these can be harmful to your invertebrates, we need to remove these the best we can. And to identify these, the test strips are widely available. We've got another video on how to complete this test. We'd look at several ways at removing these compounds. First is to use a tap water conditioner, which is usually used for freshwater fish. of which there are several types, some being chloramine neutralizers, which don't tend to remove the harmful compounds, they instead render them harmless. Others, such as a complete conditioner, would do much more in terms of preparing the water for safe use. The second option is to use filters, which basically chlorine is much easier to remove using filters than chloramine. However, filters with a granulated activated charcoal, or GAC, should be able to remove chloramine as well, but this relies on a prolonged contact of at least 3 minutes with the water and the filter, which for most store-bought jug water filters, which require several passes of the same water to achieve anything close to this. Another option is plumbed-in water filtration systems, where the water would be filled already when it comes out of the tap. More work to fit initially than a jug-based filter, you may need a plumber. Specifically, chlorine or chloramine filters would then be applied. Obviously, you would need to test your water to check with your water authorities, which they use beforehand. So in summary, all methods to make water as safe as possible for your invertebrates have a cost factor. Tap source is clearly the most available option for most people, second only to rainwater. And this is assuming the testing is proven okay with pollutants with the rainwater, plus the initial cost of capture system. This also relies on the availability of rain to actually capture, which might not always be the case in drier areas. However, tap water would need an additional process to remove compounds such as chlorine and chloramine, and this depends on your tests to check which are being used by your water authority, by either filter or complete conditioning. This depends on your water usage and how many invertebrates you keep, or how often they need water. But in conclusion, preferred is complete conditioning. Is a very cost-effective option. At the time of writing, it's at under £5 for a 118ml bottle, or just over £10 for a 473ml bottle, and the guidance on this bottle is 1 drop per 3.8 litres of tap water. This is used more for freshwater tanks, however the principle is the same to remove the same sort of compounds. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video useful, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. This will give you updates on new releases of a similar nature. This is very helpful to us. We do appreciate it. Check out our social media links found within the description of this video. We also love discussion, especially if you have another point of view. Please add your comments, it helps us improve our content. We do have plans to make many more videos in the future, however these might have content updates as our work progresses. Our videos might be updated and re-uploaded at any point as our research progresses. Thank you once again.